Alright guys, so while I have been heavy in the Delphi case for the last few days, and finally, after 500 years, got through that 136 page document, the memorandum from Richard Allen's defence, whole bunch of live streams, couple of videos on it, go and check them all out. There's some on this channel, some on my other channel, Michelle Walks, if you're into the Delphi case, because I had a lot to say. That's why I did so much, like 3 hours at a time, which is a lot for me. Okay, but while all that was going on in my world, there has been some shizzle in the Summer Wells case. Yeah. I nearly just didn't have the patience for this, but we are here and we are going to discuss it. Because apparently human bones and human hair have been found at Fred Hill's place. Oh yes. Oh yes. Expect some snark. I need a little graphic to flash up on the screen to go snark alert, snark alert, snark alert. I'll make one. I'll make one for next time. Yeah, so expect it. For those of you who don't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you, but this is deserving of it. Let's go. Okay, so let's remind ourselves where Fred's place actually is. So let's take us from the Monon High Bridge and the Delphi case all the way to Fred's place. From Delphi, Indiana to Hawkins County, Tennessee, Ben Hill Road, here we are. So that's where the Wells live. So Jodie Sue lived. And Fred and his sisters now have possession of two properties. 165, 167, which is here. And then 207, which is down here, near the bottom of Ben Hill, where it becomes just a track that you can't get a car down because there's a gate there. Okay, so here is the story, that as much as I can glean, because it appears in my absence, stuff has been deleted. Okay, so Fred's sisters, Fred's got two sisters, right? And they are clearing out Fred's place, right? Because he's in jail on meth charges. He's potentially got a deal, so he could come out in, I don't know, no time at all. But I don't know whether he's taken that deal. I haven't checked on Ziggy in the last few days, so I don't know whether he's taken that deal or not. But anyway, Fred's in jail, awaiting some movement on his case, whether it's going to be a deal, whether it's going to be not guilty plea and a trial. That's all to come, right? So Fred's in jail. Laura is, I don't know where Laura is, but she's not there. So Fred's sisters are clearing out Fred's place. Okay. And something about, they've been in contact with this psychic person on YouTube. And this psychic person on YouTube, I'm not even going to say who she is. I am not giving her the advert. I'm not playing her stuff. I'm not sharing her channel links. That's not like me. You know me. If I play someone else's stuff, I always give the channel link. But I'm going to play this via Angel Talks Too Fast, who, it appears, has come under a lot of heat from this psychic person. So, Fred's sisters claim that they found human bones at Fred's place. I think 207, from what I can gather, 207. Okay, they found human bones. All right, so they contacted the authorities. Allegedly, this is all alleged. This is all what's been coming out on YouTube. And I've missed some stuff. Stuff's been deleted, so I've only got part of the story, trying to piece it all together. So, if you know more about it than I do, pop some comments down there and I'll check them out. I've got some questions, right, about Fred's sisters. So, seemingly, it appears that they can tell the difference between human bones and those of other species, unlike their brother Fred, who couldn't tell what deer bones look like. But yeah, we've been there, we've done that. All right, so they can tell they're human bones. So I want to know exactly what they did. So they were scrabbling around in the dirt, came upon some bones. First of all, how did they know they were human? What characteristics of those bones made it clear to them that they were human? Or weren't they sure and decided to call the authorities, which is, incidentally, the right thing to do. If you come upon a bone or bones, however many bones, do you know how many bones are in the human body? Dear 206. Anyway, so you come across a bone that you think is human, you got to leave it. You got to leave it right there. Don't touch it. If you've already touched it, put it right back where you found it. Look, I've got dogs, right? They come running across a field with a bone in their mouth. You've seen me do it on camera, right? Recently, Tilly came careering down the field with a bone in her mouth. So I had to have a look just to check that it wasn't human. Right, it was a cow bone, like a fox or a cat or something has got a bone out of a bin or something like that, brought it into the field to have a munch down on it. So you leave the bone or bones right where they are. I found a whole bunch of bones in my time, a whole bunch of bones. Never found human bones though, but if you suspect this is a human bone, you call the authorities. It doesn't matter whether you are a person who is on a search, like as a volunteer. It doesn't matter if you are just walking along and randomly come upon bones, right? Or you're a professional, let's say construction workers, right? This happened close to where I used to work years ago. And they were breaking ground on this like parking area. It's like a big car park. And they were breaking ground to lay the foundations for a new building. And they came upon bones. So they had to stop. They stopped. The whole work stopped. The whole site stopped, right? Call the authorities. Police came down. I was watching some of this stuff go down, right? So police came down because the police have to determine whether this is a crime scene. Because if these bones were relatively recent, well, it could be a crime scene. Could be a crime scene. If they are clearly old bones, then it's the job of anthropologists, archaeologists. It becomes an archaeological dig, as this place did. These were old bones. Turns out these were bones from an old burial site from like medieval times or something. So then they have to decide what to do with the bones. Right? Do they leave them in situ? Or if the whole place is going to be excavated, then they've got to remove those bones and rebury them in a respectful manner. These were human beings once upon a time. You have disturbed their final resting place. You've got to give them a new one. All right? But if it's recent, if it's a suspected crime, then the whole thing becomes a crime scene. So you're going to have the police tape, you're going to have the forensics people all kitted out, you're going to have probably a tent where they're putting stuff, right, as they're taking it out, and they have to photograph everything in situ. Then they photograph as they're coming out, they photograph the evidence bags with the bones in there. Everything, every single step has to be documented. Why? Because there's a chain of custody. If this is a potential criminal case, then somebody is responsible for this death or deaths if there's more than one person. So they've got to determine how many people they've got there. Was this a dumping ground for a serial killer? All these things have to be taken into consideration. In the human body, you've got 2 femurs, right? Thigh bones. Well, if you find 3 femurs, you've got at least 2 people there, haven't you? You could have 2 femurs from one person and then another one. You could have 3 people. So they have to ascertain how many people are actually there. All these things have to be done, right? And every step of the way, they have to document it. There has to be a chain of custody and a chain of command amongst the people who are doing the retrieval. Right? They have the forensics in. They'll have a medical examiner on site for at least some of this, and they'll lay those bones out and document them, and then they'll carefully evidence bag them. Right, everything's signed for, and then it goes to a forensic lab. All this stuff goes to a forensic lab. They'll do DNA, they'll do an age, they'll do radiocarbon dating. Right, you can tell by looking at them if they're ancient bones versus relatively recent bones. I mean, obviously, if there's still meat on the bones, sorry to be graphic, but if there's still meat on the bones, then they are recent, right? Was any of that done? Was any of that done? Was it? Because there has been some kerfuffling going on. Of course there is. Of course there is. All right, so last night, Voices Behind the Wall did a live stream, and she'd got Don Wells to go and do a drive-by of Fred's place to see if there's police there, if there's forensics people there. So this is the little clip that Don Wells took. This is on Voices Behind the Wall. The link is in the description box. This was interesting. Go and check it out.
Thank you again, Don, for doing this for us so that we could help expose the fraud. You can't see it. He does have a toothpick. He said it might be a piece of grass. He wasn't going to confirm or deny for me.
Well, I'm here at Fred's, and it's not like anything's changed a whole lot or anything's going on. Same old, except for it looks like they took everything that was anything worth anything is gone. They took everything man on.
You heard it from Don himself, who lives down the road, right? Went and did a drive-by. Nothing going on at Fred's place. His voice was quite low. I'm playing it through the speakers of my laptop, so it's going to be even lower. So what he said was, he's at Fred's place, nothing's changed, except for it seems that they're clearing it right out. Everything's gone. The sisters, what are they doing with this stuff? This is Fred's stuff. What are they doing with it? Are they carefully putting it in storage for him for when he comes out of jail? Or are they selling it? What are they doing? What are they doing with Fred's stuff? They can't do that. They can't just take his stuff. Anyway, yeah, like I said, this psychic who is, living it large on YouTube at the moment, but apparently she's privated a bunch of stuff because people have been calling her out. So she's had things to say about Angel talks too fast. Angel is giving some facts, right? Because people are coming to her who are supporting this woman, right? If you come into my comments, giving the big I am in my comments, just bear in mind that I do know what I'm talking about, all right? So, yeah, I know exactly what to do if you find bones. I've told you exactly what to do if you find bones. In this case, the bones at Fred's place don't seem to have been treated with the relevant amount of respect, because if there were human bones there found just very recently, just within the last couple of days, then you would expect there to be a full excavation of that site, right? You'd expect it to be on lockdown. You'd expect the crime scene tape up. You'd expect the forensics to be there, and it's not a quick job. They've got to try and find as much of that skeleton as possible. They've got to first determine whether those are indeed human bones, and then they've got to find as much of that skeleton as they can. And then if it becomes clear that there's more than one person there, then they've got a potential serial killer dumping ground, right? It becomes incredibly serious. The media would be there. The media would find out about it. The media would be there, right? They'd have to stay behind the tape, but they'd be there. They'd be interested in that, wouldn't they? On the same road that Summer Wells disappeared. You better believe the media would be there. It would be a fucking circus, okay? That's what it would be. I mean, a fucking circus. But it isn't. Nothing's changed apart from some of Fred's stuff's gone. So these sisters, did they call the authorities, and the authorities came down, they sent a couple of cops who vaguely know what human bones look like, and they said, nah, they're not human bones, you know, it's a dog, it's a deer, it's a fox, it's a whatever, all right, not human. And then, okay, fair enough. But this psychic hasn't bothered to tell people because she's doing the big I am thing, getting people to believe her. I don't watch psychic channels for a reason. Anyway, so this is Angels Talks Too Fast, and this is a comment that she received. No, again, she did not say they were human bones. It takes months to find the results. Have you even listened to Tara yourself? Or is this here from other people's Chanels? Chanels? Channels? You mean channels? You're trying to be posh or what? She gave them to the TBI right away at the scene where they found the human bones. So did the TBI come down and do the relevant checks? Photograph them? And then just took them away? No, not how it works. Okay. She did not give the info or information where they were searching. It was another YouTuber who gave it all away. Oh, I don't know who that was. But if it's Fred's sisters, well, are Fred's sisters not only searching their land, are they searching other areas as well? Are they out on a big search for summer? Good if they are. Good if they are. Good on them. But they've got to do it right. Because if they do find summer, and summer is unfortunately now just bones, and that's a potential crime scene, then you better believe that I'm going to come down on them like a ton of bricks if they get it wrong at that point and justice cannot be served. How would you feel if that happened? How would you feel if that happened? All your info so far is wrong in what Tara said and what is doing. Okay, let's listen to this one.
Yes, it was human bones.
Yes, it was human bones. And who does this person think these bones and this hair belong to?
Rose is a huge possibility.
Rose is a huge possibility. So why would Rose Bly be buried at Fred's place or somewhere else around the environs of northeast Tennessee when her car was found in Grantsburg, Wisconsin? The investigation is there in Wisconsin, not in Tennessee. Rose is a huge possibility. How? Why? How do you know that? So are you saying these are adult bones? All right, so if you're searching for Summer Wells, you've got at least two people then, haven't you, that you're searching for? So did you find adult bones and you thought, oh, but, well, that's got to be Rose? So Rose is a huge possibility. Why? Because if the TBI determined they were human bones, there'd be a crime scene. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you soon in the next video. And all these supporters of this psychic person, come at me. Bye, guys.